All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our Tuesday morning crypto talk. Brandon Ivey from Los Angeles, California. It is morning for some of you. It is afternoon. It is evening. If you're in Hawaii, like Mark Januszewski, it's early morning. If you're in the UK, like Asmaret, it is late afternoon. Let's see who we have on the line. We got Kat, Bethany, Richard, Mark, Carl Davis from the UK. Vivekanand. Hope I said your name correctly, sir. JJ. Mafus. Bonita. Bill Childers. Good morning. As a disclaimer, I am not a licensed financial advisor to be dispensing financial advice. I just read the news, give my opinion, share suggestions, and it is up to you to make an informed, intelligent decision on which direction you want to go in. There's 4 rules I live by in the crypto space. Rule number 1, education is key. Education is everything. If you're not willing to be educated, then you're on your own. Rule number 2, never invest money that you cannot afford to lose. That should be self-explanatory. Rule number 3, always get your return on investment back first as fast as possible. First, don't get greedy. And rule number 4, where do you see yourself in 3 months, 6 months, a year from now? What vehicle are you willing to use to make that happen? Once you've got that figured out, take action and remain focused. Do not get distracted. There's so many things out there that you can get involved in, and that doesn't mean everything out there is bad. There's great opportunities, but you can't be involved in everything. You have limited resources. Now, following these rules is not going to guarantee you success, but it will at least limit your risk. And that is the most that we can ask for. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with a couple of articles this morning. The whole point is to start your day out learning something new. If you're not learning something new every day, you're stagnant, which means you're not growing. So what can we learn new today? First, let's start off with, since the price of Bitcoin rose over the last 24 hours, people have started to get excited, saying Bitcoin is back, and Bitcoin never left. You have to understand, and I agree with Antonopoulos here, that crypto success is not measured by the price. It's measured by the adoption, because the crypto price is going to go up and it's going to go down, and it will always do so. That's not what this is all about. It's about the adoption of it, and that is growing on a daily basis. So what does Antonopoulos have to say? Prominent Bitcoin and security expert Andreas Antonopoulos recently said in a talk presented at the University College Dublin in Ireland that the success of crypto and blockchain cannot be measured by price, but must be measured by adoption, and I agree with that. Since 2012, the cryptocurrency sector and most major digital assets such as Bitcoin and Ether, the native cryptocurrency of Ethereum, have demonstrated a pattern of bubble, eruption, build, and rally. And just because of that, you need to stop dropping the label of bubble. I've never seen a bubble pop and then reinflate itself before. Got to come up with a new term from that. It says, wherein the price of Bitcoin spikes to a new all-time high, drops 70%, developers build infrastructures around it, and the price rallies. Antonopoulos explained, if you have a strong local community, what happens when the price goes shooting up across the cryptocurrency space is that a lot of new people start showing up to the meetings. Yep, with a little sparkle in their eyes. It's kind of like network marketing. Same way. Especially when a new company comes out, the grass is greener somewhere else. Everybody's excited because of the newness of it. They jump ship to something else because they think it's going to be easier to build instead of their own backyard. Then after a couple of months, when they realize they have to put in the same amount of work, if not more, in the new company as they did in the old one, then the sparkle drops, auto ships drop. People start looking for the next big thing until the company comes out with a new marketing scheme or new compensation plan or something. See, success in network marketing has nothing to do with compensation plan, has nothing to do with the product, has nothing to do with the company even. Some of you guys will realize that. But I don't want to get too off track here. We're talking about crypto. But it's the same pattern. You get that sparkle in their eyes as soon as the price turns, which happens on average just after it climbs to the high point. Why? Because people sell to get a profit. Then most of them disappear. I've watched these ebb and flows since 2012. It happened in December. You guys remember that when the price went up to 19,000, the news media was saying, oh, you got to get into Bitcoin, the Bitcoin mania, the Bitcoin craze, buy, buy, buy. And then when the market turned around, it had a correction all the way down to 12,000. The media, oh, we told you that it was a scam. We told you it was a bubble and a Ponzi. You're all going to lose your money. You might as well sell, sell, sell. Shook the tree of all the new people. And they told you wrong information. You never buy high and sell low. You do the opposite. You sell high and buy low. But the average person that's not educated doesn't know that. So in December 2017, Bitcoin was valued at $20,000 globally and over $25,000 in South Korea and Japan. The total valuation of the crypto market cap nearly reached $1 trillion, solidifying itself as an emerging asset class. However, over the past 6 months, the cryptocurrency market recorded a 70% correction. In a similar fashion to the 2014 Bitcoin correction, the price and volume of most major cryptocurrencies fell from 70 to 90%, including Bitcoin. Consequently, the demand for digital assets declined, as portrayed by various indicators such as Google Trend, trading volume, exchange usage, and the daily transaction volume of digital assets. Prior to the major correction of the crypto market, Ethereum co-founder Vitalik Buterin emphasized that the community has not done enough to justify the valuation of the cryptocurrency sector. Buterin stated that cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ether have banked some unbanked people, provided decentralized infrastructure to some users, and created an alternative financial system to a certain extent, but not enough to justify a $500 billion market cap. Antonopoulos explained that as a decentralized technology, cryptocurrency has the potential to permanently change and revolutionize the way individuals and businesses understand finance by eliminating intermediaries. That's true. He noted that the growth of crypto and its success cannot be determined by price because the market moves on its own, but rather is determined by the adoption of the technology and its actual impact on the global financial systems. Now, if you hear somebody like Antonopoulos say that, then you might think, well, of course he would say that. He's an insider. He's an insider. What do you expect him to say? However, and I love doing this, I'm going to read to you a couple of quotes here. And then I'm going to read to you who said it. And this is huge. First up, blockchain technology could change our world more than people imagine. Jack Ma said that, one of the world's richest man in China. How about this one? Blockchain massively lowers the barriers to creating tradable digital assets. It allows individuals who don't know each other or even trust one another to make irreversible transactions in a whole variety of fields in a safe and secure way. You know who said that? Stanford University. How about this one? Blockchain solutions will boost transparency in governments, reducing fraud and helping to build a better public goods infrastructure for improved organization and distribution of goods and public services. You know who said that? A country that banned Bitcoin, the Indian government. How about this one? Virtual currencies will become part of the economic practices of any country, anywhere. Let me repeat that. These currencies are not going away, and they will proliferate to every economy and every part of the planet. Some places, small economies, may become dependent on virtual assets for survival. And these currencies will be outside traditional monetary intermediaries like government, banks, investors, ministries, or international organizations. We are witnessing a technological revolution. Perhaps we are witnessing a modern miracle, sounding like freaking Nostradamus or a prophet. You know who said that? CFTC Chairman Rostin Benham, the chairman of the CFTC. Oh wait, but there's one more. Moreover, what we view as money has changed over time. Cowrie shells once were such a medium but no longer are. Our currency originally included gold coins and bullion, but after 1934, gold could not be used as a medium of exchange. Perhaps one day employees will be paid in Bitcoin or some other type of cryptocurrency. You know who said that? Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer. So do you still think that this is something that you should ignore? This will revolutionize the planet in ways our imagination is only the limit to. Speaking of it interrupting a industry, Boeing will use blockchain tech to track unmanned air vehicles. The travel industry. Let's see here. What is Boeing up to? Aerospace giant Boeing has announced its intention to tap blockchain technology to keep an eye on unmanned air vehicles used for cargo transport and urban air travel in the future. There's unmanned vehicles doing cargo transport? I did not know that. Boeing is partnering artificial intelligence firm. And if you've ever gone to a blockchain expo, you'll notice that it's three of them combined. It's the blockchain, the Internet of Things, and artificial intelligence. All three of them are combined. The next blockchain expo in the United States is going to be in Santa Clara at the end of November. I will be there for that. And think about that. And you're going to see Internet of Things and artificial intelligence. Blockchain is what's going to make the artificial intelligence, virtual reality, all of that stuff work. They've been waiting for this technology, and it's now here. So Boeing is partnering artificial intelligence firm Spark Cognition to develop a decentralized platform capable of tracking unmanned air vehicles in flight and allocate traffic corridors and routes to ensure secure transportation. The company said in an announcement on Tuesday. Think about that. To allocate traffic corridors. Have you ever watched Star Wars? Star Wars. And there's a global city planet called Coruscant. And what always amazed me is I see the spaceships in the skies, they're all kind of lined up and they're flying through the city. And there's no red light, green light, yellow light, any of that kind of stuff. Even on Star Wars Episode 2, with a speeder chase with Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker, I'm like, how are they doing that? Well, one, you have to imagine all of the vehicles, their traffic corridors and I don't know the word to use, but they're all united. They're all combined together. So there are no accidents because the vehicles are talking to each other. Technology. I was like, I wonder how long it'll take before we have technology that can actually do that. It's already here. And the blockchain is taking it to a whole nother level. So the collaboration will notably make use of blockchain technology to monitor Boeing's planned next-generation air vehicles that the company plans to deploy in a number of commercial applications, including package delivery and urban air travel, the latter akin to those Uber's air taxi. Specifically, Boeing plans to use a standardized programming interface to support package delivery, industrial inspection, and other commercial applications, the company added. The Boeing tech chief said, "We're at a point in history where technological advantages and societal trends are converging to demand bold solutions and a different way to travel. To prepare for this future, the world's biggest aviation company is establishing Boeing Next," something you might want to invest in, "a new subsidiary that will use the company's R&D to focus on advancing autonomous flight and next-gen travel. Boeing Next is also including the company's hypersonic passenger flight concept under its portfolio alongside its electrical vehicle takeoff and landing vehicles for an on-demand cargo transport and urban air travel in the future. The blockchain development endeavor follows the company's venture arm participating in Spark Cognition's $32 million funding round last month. Estimated by some analysts at $3 trillion, the urban aerial mobility opportunity will lead to the creation of the largest new market in our lifetimes. This is why I left the MLM industry. This is why I'm so excited. We are living at the vanguard of a new age right now. The largest new market in our lifetimes? Are you involved? Or are you just a spectator? Here's the last article for this morning about geopolitics, about Iran. And this is something we all need to pay attention to because it will affect us. If our enemies around the world figure out a way to limit U.S. global reach and U.S. power influence, that puts us at danger financially and physically. There's two ways the United States exerts power around the world. And you might say diplomacy, but diplomacy is backed by something. Something that the rest of the world needs that the United States has, and that's called the U.S. dollar. Ever since World War II for the past 70 years. And the second thing is our military. Our military budget is more than the world's combined. Double. Nobody can touch our military. But we always use diplomacy first, which means if you don't do what we want you to do, we will slap sanctions on you and starve you out until you comply. So if you are a leader of one of these countries that are adversaries of the United States, and you know you can't hang with us on the battlefield, then the one way you can attack us is cyber attack. Attack the US dollar. Attack our elections. There's many different ways that you can attack us without firing a missile. And if they figure out a way to get away from the US dollar, where if we put sanctions on them, it's not going to hurt them, then that leaves us with only one option, and that's the military. So I wanted to preface that as I lead into what Iran is about to do, because what just happened? Our administration pulled us out of the Iran nuclear deal, and we want to put more sanctions on them to make them comply. Well, here's Iran's response. Iran may employ cryptocurrencies as part of its efforts to circumvent the upcoming U.S. sanctions. According to a high-ranking Iranian lawmaker who said the matter will be discussed in parliament soon, it already has. I read an article like this last year. They've been preparing for this. The Iranian MP also believes that digital money can help with overcoming the hegemony of the U.S. dollar. Cryptocurrencies are one of the major mechanisms Iran can use to evade the new U.S. sanctions, a senior Iranian lawmaker said in an interview published recently. Mohammed, chairman of the Parliamentary Economic Commission, also noted that digital currencies could help get rid of the dollar hegemony in international trade. Vladimir Putin said the same thing. Speaking to the Mizan news agency, he said the matter will soon be reviewed in the Parliament of the Islamic Republic. Mohammed also noted that one of the main priorities of the Iranian legislator in the current volatile economic situation would be to explore the issue of money treaties as another mechanism to evade the sanctions. Today, many countries like Russia, China, and Brazil have already turned to mutual or multinational money treaties which facilitate trade transactions, he explained. You guys even knew that took place? This isn't new information. This happened at the end of last year and the beginning of this year. They're coming up with treaties amongst themselves to be able to buy and sell oils and goods without using the US dollar. And they're developing cryptocurrency to make this happen. Whereas the United States kind of still has our heads stuck in the sand. We haven't figured it out yet. And what happens when they no longer need the US dollar? What happens to the US dollar when they're not buying our debt anymore? The bill's going to come due eventually. You think Venezuela, what happened there, or Zimbabwe or Greece is far off with rampant inflation? It's happened before in the United States, and it will happen again. Not a matter of if, just a matter of when. Amid rising tensions with the U.S. since Washington pulled out from the nuclear deal in May and threatened Tehran with harsher measures, Iran's national fiat currency, the rial, has lost half of its value in the past several months. The new set of economic sanctions is expected to take effect in November this year, and Iranian authorities have been looking for ways to circumvent them. So far, the Islamic Republic has had an ambiguous attitude toward cryptocurrencies. The country's economic woes have persuaded many Iranians to turn to cryptos like Bitcoin in order to protect themselves and their money from high inflation and economic uncertainty. Around the beginning of this year, when the country was shaken by popular protests over the socio-economic situation, Iran saw a record increase in peer-to-peer trade between the rial and Bitcoin. During that period, calls were made for wider acceptance of cryptocurrencies. Later, reports came out that Iran was considering issuing its own crypto and adopting regulations for the established, decentralized cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. They were followed by statements that coins are unreliable and risky, and other reports suggesting that the Central Bank of Iran is looking for a way to prevent the use of digital currencies in the country. In April, the CBI issued a statement effectively banning local banks and other financial institutions from dealing in cryptocurrency, while at the same time the debate on how to regulate the space was still ongoing. The risks of money laundering, financial terrorism, and criminal activities were cited as motives for the measure. Let me stop right there. This is a country the United States already calls a terrorist nation, money laundering, financing terrorism, but their own government used the same words and language to try to ban crypto. It's a knee-jerk reaction every government takes. However, they've realized, wait a minute, this may actually be our savior. Despite the clampdown, it was revealed in May that Iranians have sent abroad more than $2.5 billion to acquire cryptocurrencies. In the meantime, it became known that Iran has developed an experimental local cryptocurrency, while the central bank and the Information and Communities Ministry continued their work on creating a legal framework for the fintech industry. Let me quote Vladimir Putin. Still can't believe I quote him. But he said, "The Stone Age didn't end due to the lack of stones. The Stone Age ended due to the introduction of better technology. The nations that lead the forefront in this technology will be the future world leaders, whereas those who do not will be under the thumb of those who do." Vladimir Putin said that in January. The United States has all the stones right now. But new technology is going to make the United States stones obsolete. So the United States has two choices to make. Number one, lead this space, embrace this technology, and remain as the world innovator. Or ignore it, attempt to regulate and ban it, and disrupt as much as you possibly can and stifle innovation in the United States while our enemies embrace this. And we lose our status financially, and then we go through an economic collapse. There is no in-between here. That's the reality. And we will survive. This is not the end of the United States. We will survive, but it will be a much more dangerous world. At the same time, a world that has never been more united than it will be because of crypto uniting the world. But America's place in the world will be questioned. It already is right now. So that is it for news today. If you just came on late, you want to go back and listen to the beginning. I hope you learned something new. As always, that is the point. I begin my day with crypto education. And I'll be back tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific for late night crypto talk, followed by Cryptogenics presentation at 9 p.m. Eastern. This is the quiet before the storm. Let's make it happen. With that, have a great day, everybody. God bless. Take care. Bye-bye.
Cryptogenics.